I'm your host, Edward B. Coulon Smith, Chairman of the Board for the New Orleans Region Black Chamber of Commerce. And I'm sitting here today with my radio guest, Mr. Michael Spicer, a 3-star executive director of MWR, Make Wealth Real Financial Services. So, Mr. Spicer, I got a couple of questions to ask you, and some of these questions I'm going to just let you expand on. But the first question is, who is Michael Spicer?
Well, Michael Spicer is a gentleman that was born in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and that was in 1960, as a matter of fact.
North Kakalaka.
North Kakalaka. So I left North Carolina actually in '84 and joined the military. Joined the Air Force, stayed in the military for 22 years.
Okay.
And then in 2001, well, after I got out of the military, my parents and my siblings were in Alabama because my dad was military also, so I went and joined them. And in Selma, Alabama, as a matter of fact. So while I was in Selma, I had a privilege to meet the person that got Martin Luther King Jr. out of prison every time he was arrested.
Okay.
Dr. Orzel Billingsley. And I was a grant writer. So he connected with me, and he walked me through the process of who I needed to speak to in order to get those grants approved. Then back when Janet Reno was in office, she set up a program called Model City, Citizens Participation Board. So I was a part of that program. So every time, Attorney General, right. So every time Rosa Parks came to do the bus boycott series, I was her security guard. So I got to meet her, Ralph Abernathy, a lot of the black civil rights leaders over there. So, but I came here in 2001. I had gotten a job working with Walmart, manager over sporting goods. And they were just building the first supercenter in New Orleans, which was across the river on Manhattan Boulevard. So they asked me if I wanted to come to New Orleans to help open the new store. So I said, absolutely. I've been everywhere else, why not? So I came here, and they gave me a management position there, support manager, helped open that store over there. And that was in 2001. So in 2003, I met my wife here, and she's from New Orleans. So that kind of solidified it for me. But at that point in 2003, also, I joined the National Guard here. And of course, 2 years later, I ended up in the middle of Katrina. So I went right through that whole process. People that I knew from New Orleans said, okay, you're solidified now. You went through Katrina, you're a New Orleanian. So, right. So, yeah, after that, I set up a nonprofit organization, and I was doing first-time home buyers training, financial literacy training, and credit restoration. And also got certified through NeighborWorks to do counseling in those areas as well. And from there, I went into property management because the guy that I was renting from, he owned 250 rental properties. So he couldn't get a lot of his people approved for rent because they had bad credit, so he connected with me. We went through that whole process, and then later he ended up asking me to manage his properties for him. So I did that for 5 or 6 years, and that was pretty interesting. So after that, my nonprofit organization continued to grow, and I actually partnered with Southern University out of Baton Rouge. We did a program that was called IDA, Individual Development Accounts. So we were helping low to middle-age income earners to get a home, even people on Section 8. Section 8 had a program in place, so we partnered with all of that, doing a 4-to-1 matching grant. So they had to agree as they're going through the first-time homebuyers training to either put $500 in a savings account or $1,000. And it couldn't be with their personal money, totally separate account. Once they went through all the training, we were working on their credit at the same time. Then when they were approved, if they did 500, we added 2,000 to their 500. If they did 1,000, we added 4,000. And then at that time, there was $75,000 available for down payment assistance. So we were able to get that for them also. It's a great program. And
So what happened to that program?
well, Bobby Jindal decided that they needed the money for something else. So he removed the money, removed the funds for it, I think after the second year. But we got quite a few people into homes before that happened.
So what is MWR, Make Wealth Real Financial Services, and how did that get started?
So MWR was kind of a spinoff of what I was doing before, Make Wealth Real Financial Services. And we capitalized on that word wealth, because from the time we were growing up, I would say from junior high school to college, or whatever type of career we pursued, we kept hearing the word wealth over and over and over again. But unfortunately, not many people got to participate in it. So after doing a lot of studying on this wealth, we knew we had rich people and we had wealthy people. So my goal at that point was to educate the general public on what wealth really is and how they could take part in it.
All right, so can you tell the listening audience what exactly you just said? You said they have rich people and they have wealthy people. So what's the difference in the two?
Absolutely. So a rich person is a person that has a lot of money, but they don't have a lot of time. So when you run into a rich person, they're still getting up every morning, going to the office, making phone calls, going to appointments. They have to do that in order to keep their money. A wealthy person has leveraged their time and their money. So that means that all the things that need to be done, they have someone else doing it for them. And then as far as their money is concerned, they have their money in a system that continues to increase their cash flow even if they don't do anything else to it. So that's the difference between wealthy and rich.
So the wealthy people are the ones that make money and they sleep.
That's correct.
If they're sleeping or they're doing whatever, vacationing,
They're still making money because they find an asset that produces income. And that asset is going to produce whether you do anything or not. It keeps producing.
All right. So, all right, now this is a question that I got to ask. Yeah, and now you said military, so it kind of made sense. So what is a 3-star executive director?
So we have a ranking system in MWR also. And in that ranking system, we're able to bring people on board to help us spread the information about MWR. Okay. So when people come on board, there's different levels that they can go through. And because they get paid just for sharing the information. So they have different levels that they can go through that increases their pay on every level. So a 3-star executive director is like the 4th highest level in the company. Yeah. So what we do as the leaders, myself and other people, we go through the process with them, because we don't want them to come on board and we're saying, okay, you got to do this, you got to do this. So we're doing it also, so that they can see that everything is working and falling into place.
So how long has MWR Financial Services been in existence?
It's actually been in existence for 11 years. But when MWR Financial Services was first started, it was actually a program that raised funding to plant churches across the United States. So that worked out pretty good. And, from there, it's like, let's see if we can help other people to leverage every area of their finances and to earn a substantial income if they wanted to do that as well.
Okay. So do you guys have an office space? And if so, where is it located?
Yeah, I have an office space at the Galleria. Address there is 1 Galleria Boulevard, Suite 1900. But we're online as well because we're in all 50 states. We're national. So we do a lot of the stuff online as well as in person.
Got it. Now, if you want to join in on this conversation, or if you have any questions, or if you have anything to add to the conversation, please phone in or dial in or call in at 504-582-9422. How is MWR Financial Services involved in the local community?
Well, that's a great question. The local community is our target, and the reason is because the local community, including myself for a number of years, was not educated on what we should know about getting out of debt, how to pursue. You're either financing a way of living or you're just living a way of living. So if you're financing it, that means that as soon as you lose your job or the money stops coming in, you're out of business. I mean, you can't do anything else. Statistics show that over 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. We call America the great dream, the great American dream. That's why all the other countries are trying to come here. And I call it the 40-40-40 plan.
Right.
That basically we are taught in the United States to go out and get a good education, then get a career working 40 hours a week, for 40 years and then retire. But then your retirement is only 40% of what you were making when you were working.
Right.
But that's the system that everybody is knowledgeable of, and that's the system that everybody in the community is using. It's not working because the average person, when they get to the age that they're going to retire, they realize immediately that if they didn't keep increasing their 401k every year, because the economy is increasing every year, when they get to the 40 years and retire, man, I can't live off of this. So what happens? They go back to work, and unfortunately, they work until they die. And that's the American dream, the great American dream.
So the great American dream is the work, some more.
Right. And then you die, and you leave nothing for your family.
Wow. So what initiatives or events does MWR Financial Services support or host?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do is I do Zoom presentations for the whole state of Louisiana, at least 4 per week, and a lot of them on the spur of the moment, because that's how excited I am about getting this information out to the general public, to change the dynamics of how people live here in New Orleans and the surrounding areas. You know, for example, we have a program that's called Eliminate My Debt. So on Eliminate My Debt, we have a program in place where we can actually eliminate every debt you have. We're talking about house payments, car payments, student loans, credit cards in record time, in less than half of the time that you're scheduled to pay them off. Then we have another program that's called DCA, Diversified Cash Flow Account. In that program, we actually get you to the point where you no longer need banks for anything. You become your own bank.
Okay.
So we use that to pay that every debt that you have, and it's associated with the whole life insurance policy. And the reason for that is that because it's associated with the whole life insurance policy, your money can't be taxed. So anything you're paying into the DCA, we're paying you 6% interest compounded monthly on your money. And it can't be taxed because it's going into a whole life insurance policy.
Wow.
So what the millionaires and billionaires have been doing for years is not keeping their money in the savings account in the bank. They're putting it in an insurance policy because it can't be taxed. So now we're using the same system. We use that account to pay off all of your debts in record time. Once we do that, anytime you need money from then on out, you borrow from yourself.
Okay.
Through the insurance.
So how often do you do workshops and presentations and things of that nature on what you just spoke of?
Yes, almost every day of the week. So we have scheduled presentations that we do on Saturday at 2:30, Saturday afternoon. Then we have one at 6 p.m. on Monday and another one at 6 p.m. on Wednesday.
And that's at the Galleria?
Well, that's online. So that way everybody can participate. The office at the Galleria probably holds about 10 people. So a lot of times I'm doing it in person and online at the same time.
Okay. So how can a listening audience get involved on their training online?
Okay, so we have actually a website that they can go to, and once they go to the website, they can put in information to request a presentation or request more information. Once they plug into that, that's how we respond and get them set up. So my personal website that you can go to is mwrfinancial.com/Michael Spicer. And that'll get you in to schedule yourself for a presentation. And you also get to speak directly to, we have teams of experts that do all of these services that we offer. We have a separate team for every service. So you actually get to do consultations with those people, the experts on each one of those teams.
Gotcha. All right. If you want to be a part of the conversation, if you have something you say, you have any questions, feel free to call in or phone in at 504-582-9422. So I know your meal is good right now. It's the lunch hour. This is hump day, and I hope you're not humping too hard. But if you are, be good at it and keep on humping on and make sure that you become not rich, but wealthy. While you do it. So once again, I'm here with Brother Michael Spicer, a 3-star executive director of the MWR Making Wealth Real Financial Services. All right, Brother Spicer, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced with MWR Financial Services and keeping it going?
Right. So that's a great question. one of the biggest challenges that I face is the people in the community and at large. The people have been bribed for so many years, defrauded for so many years, that they're at the point now where the mindset is that anything that's being offered is something wrong with it.
Mm.
And because of that, in order to participate into something or to see the value of it, the first thing you have to do is be willing to take a look at it. So we have a lot of people in the community that won't even look at it. They just hear it and sounds too good to be true, sounds like one of these type programs, and they never even take a look at it. So the challenge is the people on our teams are called legacy life coaches. So what we do is educate the people, but they still have to be willing to either call, sit down with us, or meet with us so we can get that process started. That's a major challenge.
Got it. So what advice would you give someone looking to start a business like you?
Wow. So the advice that I would give is get in contact with us and inquire about the Fundable 360. The Fundable 360 is something that we have in place. It's one of our most prominent programs because we feel like the community is only as strong as each individual. So if each individual are drowning in debt, each individual is drowning in debt, or each individual can't keep their head above water, that takes away from the strength of the community.
All right.
So the Fundable 360 is something that we have in place for that.
All right, Brother Spice, we got a couple of callers on line one. We got Micaiah. Micaiah, you're on.
Yes. Okay. First of all, it's an excellent presentation. I really appreciate Michael Spicer being able to proclaim what's going on. I am a member of MWR, and I just want to say that it has really changed my life. It has made wealth real to me, and I am a co-laborer along with him to get the word out about MWR because we as a people need this and we need to understand wealth. But now one question I have for Mike. Okay, Mike, what I didn't find out from you was, okay, I want to buy a home in Chicago and I have one here in New Orleans. So what would be, am I allowed to do that? Have two homes, two residents, I should say, through MWR? Is that for first-time home buyers only?
Okay. Well, actually, that's a great question. And through MWR, we've opened all of those doors. We have a program that's called Keys to Home Ownership. And what that means is basically, if you have a credit score of 200, we can still put you in a house.
Wow.
And we can do it in most cases in less than 6 months. The Keys to Home Ownership program actually allows you to meet two criteria. One is if you're paying at least $950 a month for rent. The other is if you've been paying your rent on time for at least 2 years. If you meet those two criteria, you qualify for the program. So once you qualify, you have uploaded all of your debts into our system. You'll get a call from the expert, and he'll say, okay, Ms. Makia, we have all your stuff in front of us. Based on this is how much house you can afford. So once they tell you how much house you can afford, you go out and start looking for that house. What happens is our company buys the house for you. So that's why we don't need your credit. We actually buy the house, and then we put you on a rent-to-own or a lease purchase for 36 months while we're working on your credit. So anytime within the 36 months that your credit score goes up, we turn around and sell the house back to you, but you're already in it.
All right, Micaiah, thanks for the call. We got Byron
Thank
on
you.
line 2. Byron, you're on the air.
Back to you, but you already. All right, Micaiah, thanks for the call. We got Byron.
All right, Byron, we can barely hear you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, you're on the air.
Do I need to turn it off?
All right, you're on the air. We can hear you.
Yes, sir. My name is Byron Martin. I'm a member of MWR.
Go now.
All right, Byron, you done went out again.
And I really like to thank Mr. Spicer for bringing this opportunity to our area. One of the key things that he has indicated, things that he's indicated is the sharing of the opportunity, and that's been a very enlightening thing.
All right. Thank you, Byron. We got another caller, Miss Matthews. You're on the air.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Mr. Spicer, what I want to ask, first of all, like, is it some type of charge? Because I was interested in the debt elimination program. So if I, like, joined your company or whatever, you know, how would I go about that? You know, am I required to, like, give y'all a fee ahead of time or something?
Yes, great question. So the first thing is we have to determine what it is that you're trying to do, because we have some services where you don't have to join or be a member of MWR, and we can still assist you, like the Fundable 360. But as far as the financial services are concerned, yes, there is a fee that's $150 per month. And we have 11 different financial services that we offer. But we also have built within there a process using these services to eliminate the $150 fee within the first 30 days. So you only pay that one time. As a matter of fact, we have a money-back guarantee in writing. It's on the website. So it states that if our opportunities, strategies, or services cannot put more money back in your pocket than it costs you for the program and do it within the first 30 days, we give you a full refund.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you, Ms. Matthews. All right, Brother Spicer. What legacy do you want to leave as MWR Financial Services in this community?
So the legacy that I would like to leave is put together, first of all, focus on how to change your output. Because here's a question that I'm going to ask everybody that's listening. If I were in the room with you, all of us were in the same room, and I asked, how many people in this room have been working over 10 years of your life? We'll get hands. How about 20 years? We'll get hands. All the way up to 60 years, because we have people 80 and 90 years old, we will get hands. When your hands are raised, then my next question is, okay, you've been working anywhere from 10 to 60 years of your life. How close are you to $1 million? And then the next question is, if you continue doing what you did the 10 to 60 years, where are you going to be 5 years from now? Our process with the Fundability 360 can get you to millionaire status in 5 years. In 5 years. So we can take what you haven't done in 10 years to 40 years to 60 years, and we can do it in 5 years. Guaranteed.
All right. So for the community calendar coming up, please mark on your calendar on September 11, 2025, the Small Business Mayoral Forum will be at the Propeller on Watson Avenue. And then on September the 26th, 2025, it will be the Mayoral Forum for the community chambers. That is the Hispanic Chamber, the LGBTQ plus chamber, as well as the New Orleans Chamber and the New Orleans Black Chamber of Commerce. We all will be hosting a mayoral forum, candidates forum together. That will be at the Hotel Monte Leon. So look for the emails that's coming out. Look for the websites and look for that information so you can get your ticket. And as they said on the song, get your ticket in your hand and come out to that forum that's hosted by all of the chambers of commerce across the city. And also on Friday, October the 3rd, 2025, the New Orleans Region Black Chamber of Commerce presents the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment Conference here on the campus of Xavier University. Eventbrite is set up with the early bird special, $1,000 a table, $100 a ticket, and $150 a vendor. So as we close out this day, but we'll see you next week. But happy Hump Day and happy Black Business Month. So go forward and be prosperous and be helpful and be blessed. Thank you, Brother Spicer.
Thank
Hope
you.
to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Peace.